Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Uh, my name is Sawssan Haidar. I'm so proud I'm from Lebanon. I'm immigrant here 1995.
My name is Anwar, Jana and Elhusseini, from Lebanon, town of Barashid. I came here in 1985, went to school for English, Albany, New York. Then I went back to Boston, that's my home base. Went to college and then came back to Toledo, Ohio, and then Michigan. Well, from Toledo, I left there in 1990 back to Boston. Then I came here almost year 1997. So when I had my first child, then I went to work. I'm an electrician. I do electrical work for a living. I was just a regular electrician. Learned how to the American system because I went to school for technical school back home for electrical work. I do work and license, insured, everything.
I'm one of two kids. My brother is younger me by 1 year. He lives in Australia, and he was immigrant there when he was like 18, and now he's 40, he's 49. And I am immigrant here when I was like 21, and now I'm 50 years. And my mom was in Lebanon. She stayed by herself without us like for 6 years, and then they immigrant her to Australia to live with my brother. And when she left to Australia, I didn't see her for 10 years before I saw her for one time for 1 month, and I came back here, and now I didn't see her for like 7 years. Yeah, that's hard. Like we didn't know each other. Even if you see them, like you feel like you're not you are like يعني تعرفيهنش, like
You're strangers.
they are strangers, or me, I'm strange for them because we are too far away and we didn't know nothing about each other, even if we talk every day or on a phone with a camera, but we didn't know the suffering about each other.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about like anytime you've struggled like mentally, like how have you dealt with that? Like
it wasn't a lot of stress. I taught myself how to go along with problems or handle problems, and then it took me a while to figure it out and to overcome. Of course, we ran through a very rough journey, starting with me and wife and a 0 kid, and then low income, and with the house payment, and of course we have to struggle and work overtime, do the regular hours and then do side jobs, and moved on. We had a lot of issues with kids. I have 5 kids at a time, and when the demand comes, you go in a 5th gear and trying to get things going. There's a lot of stress, a lot of hard time, a lot of work hours, but at the end we thank God, for getting the kids and staying healthy.
So how would you say you manage like continuously like putting your kids at the forefront? Like how much time do you have to like focus on yourself, or is there any time that you really put yourself first?
It was never myself first, because it was my wife and then my kids. you decide to have so many kids, you call the shot and you gotta move on and then upload the demand and keep up with the demand. I was never until now, I wasn't myself the first.
Yeah, we're coming here to live a good life because in our countries, always there is a bombing, always attack us. They let us go from our country.
Uh-huh.
They affected us. Yeah. They let us leave everything there and come to the country. We didn't know nothing about it, and we're suffering a lot to be in a normal life now. Now we, like after 30 years, we starting to build ourselves, our mentals, our kids. Yeah.
What would you say your biggest struggle as an immigrant is?
The language is the biggest obstacle, but once you're gonna come over that one, then you move on, and then once you feel yourself that you blend in, and things will be fine and comfortable.
How do you say, like, now that you have kids, how do you handle those days, or do you not handle your days, or what is your way of coping with bad days?
Oh, I'm gonna explain that. I didn't get out of this suffering until like I have my kids growing up. Like I start talking to them about myself, about my man.
How would you describe your toughest day or feeling you've had in life?
Toughest day is when your payment is for the house payment and you only got a $0 in the bank, and that's was always on the mind.
Being the daughter of an immigrant, how do you feel like their journey here to America has impacted their mental health?
Specifically for my parents, I think that it changes a lot in terms of mental health because you come from a country where, and this is typical of immigrants, I think, that you come from a country where like hard work and like determination is kind of instilled in you, and then you come here and you work and you sacrifice so hard to make it, or at least make it in this country, and like failure isn't an option. And I think that like completely alters a person's mental health. We kind of have the privilege of being able to be like, oh, like I need to take care of my mental health, but for my parents, like they never had the ability to do that because they were so focused on like securing a future for us that they kind of just neglected their own mental health. And like I think that's evident within a lot of immigrant households.
It was never a thing for them. Like when they came here, like there was no assistance for them. Nobody asked them about their mental health. Nobody cared. It was all about making money and surviving and making sure your kids were set. Like there wasn't, like therapist is a funny word for the Arab community. It's like a shameful thing for you to be struggling mentally.
And do you feel like they need it and they just don't ask for it, or
Yeah,
like
100%. Like watching dad never complains about anything. But sometimes you'll hear like little comments like, you know, I haven't started living my life, or just like little things that he says to himself but he won't say in front of us. But it just goes to show that he never had somebody to talk to about those things, you know what I mean?
about for people who like aren't immigrants but want to help immigrants, how can we help them?
Find the jobs for them. Let them keep going to school if they are young, like 18, 19. I wish I go to school when I came here. I spent 30 years from my life, like always busy with my kids and with my house, in my house, cleaning, cooking. But now I see the results with my kids. They are in colleges. Everyone has his skills. Like I'm being so happy, but I didn't do nothing for myself, and I'm suffering a lot before. That's why if I seen any immigrant like in new here, I have to tell them like go work, go like do anything you love, just don't stay in your house.
Well, the best therapist in life is being close to your God, you know, and then follow the rules that what you're supposed to do. Everybody's different, mentality, emotionally. Everybody's different in being capable of handling things.
To help, I mean, I don't even know. I think we like the kids and like the first gen, the second gen of children. I think we're like the biggest key to change, because I think once they know like it's okay, like these things are okay to talk about, like these things are like it's not normal. You know, I feel like the biggest thing is like these immigrants and these parents need to know like these things that you went through are not normal to go through, and like you shouldn't have to shove it in the past. Like you can talk to somebody about it. And I feel like having that validation and being like, yeah, actually that was kind of crazy what I went through. Like I have so much trauma.
Well, we have to understand that their life is different than ours. Like, you know, like they sacrificed so much, they did so much. But I feel like it's also our responsibility to help them talk about it. But at the same time, like we just have to understand, like, you know, like with mom, for example, like we just have to know like she grew up completely differently. She sacrificed so much, left one country, came to another, but they built roots here. Like we're first generation. Like we have to give them room because they're also learning too, you know.